Welcome to Hines on Air, from Atlanta to the world, hosted by Matt Hines. Are you ready?
Hello, everybody. It is Matt Hines back with Hines on Air. Got sort of a different kind of a presentation for you today. Just going to give you a little business advice and business viewpoint, and hopefully it's something you can pick up, apply in your own scene, and improve your conditions. Okay? So this is the first mindset I'd like for you to take on as you go out.
This was Hines on Air, recorded from the Hines Production Studio in the city of Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States.
Situation and we look
Don't forget that you can follow us on YouTube to watch and listen to the podcast.
They can either stay the same or they can get worse. We got those three main options: get better, stay the same, or get worse. Now, think about this. What in this universe actually stays the same? Can you think of anything that's staying the same? Now, you may say, well, Matt, this microphone stays the same. It's the same right now. It's not changing at all. But the truth of the matter is the microphone is constantly changing because the electrons inside it are moving at a fantastic speed. It's on the surface of planet Earth, so it's spinning at about 1,000 miles an hour. And it's part of this galaxy, so it's changing too. So it is moving. It is changing position. And you could say, oh, well, that postal, or maybe you could say the amount of money in my bank account. Let's say I have $100 in there now, and I'm going to have $100 in there tomorrow. Well, inflation, interest rates, currency rates, all kinds of stuff act against that, your balance, to change that amount. So it might just say 100, but it's actually different than what it was. And the point is this: nothing in this physical universe stays the same. There is no such thing. You cannot point to an example and say, this did not change any. All right? So instead of having three options of outcome, better, same, worse, same's out. There's no such thing as the same. Things only get better or they get worse. And that's a fact. It's kind of a ruthless fact, but it's a fact. You can't just sort of coast along the same and expect to have this great and wonderful life. All right? So what are we going to do? You got to influence the outcome somehow. You want to make it better, I would imagine. So how do you make it better? Well, there's different tools to make things better. And one of the tools I'm going to talk to you about comes from the Hubbard Management System, which is developed by L. Ron Hubbard. And this is one management tool of many. But this is something that's helped our practice, and it can help yours as well. Now, before I tell you it exactly, I want you to think of the life cycle of a company and think of how things shift along, and we'll go through that together. The first thing that happens in any company is there's an idea. Nothing happens before an idea. That idea needs to be strong because that idea is what's going to carry along all the physical actions that go into making that dream a reality. If the idea is weak, then nothing's going to happen. If you have somebody that says, maybe someday I'd like to start a company and I'd like to help out the kids in this neighborhood because they're really disadvantaged. Maybe if I have time. That's a very weak thought. Now, if you are absolutely dedicated and focused on making sure that happens, then you're getting a much stronger idea, or a postulate, as we call it. All right, so the first step is the thought. Then you have a place to operate. It might be your office or your car or a building or just your bedroom with a computer set up. It doesn't matter. Just a place to set up with equipment and all. So now you've got a location. Soon this will become staff, but in the beginning it's just you. All right? Then you want to do a little bit of marketing and sign somebody up. And that sounds like it may be hard, but it's not. I remember when we first started our company, I was waking up each morning and sticking those stakes in the ground all over the highways. And I learned the timing of this because the city would come up and clean them all up. So you had to keep putting them out because we weren't really supposed to do it. But I was broke. I didn't have any means of marketing. So this was one way I would just start disseminating the information about the law firm. So you you do that marketing, and eventually a sign-up will come. One way or another, a sign-up's going to come. Then you get paid. Then you produce the product or the service. You give them what they paid for. and then you correct any problems that they have with your service or your product. This is called quality control. And the last step on this cycle of action is you tell the world how great you are, how great that product was. So we have 7 steps that we're talking about here. First one is the idea. We could call it the goals, the strategies, or mission statements, vision statements, all that kind of stuff goes into this area. Then you have what we call Division 1, which is the communications division, which is where you have your building, reception, all your staff, statistics, all kinds of information. Now, again, for a one-person operation, that's going to be small, but that's still where it all happens. You, the business, the computer, your telephone, whatever, all right? Then in Division 2, you start maybe getting some business cards, you start passing those around, maybe make some phone calls, whatever, do a little marketing, and you sign up a client. And that is a big part. That is a whole lecture in and of itself, is registration or intake, because that can be a very complicated process. It's not hard just to pick up the phone and answer, but it is hard when you have a number of different people and the phone needs to be routed to this person or sent to this person, or based on this question is sent to this person and then to this person. That gets hard. So that's for another day. All right, so that's in Division 1 and 2. 2 is the sign-up, where you're actually selling the service to the person. All right, you're sitting down, you're telling this person how you can benefit them, why your product suits their needs, or why your service is going to solve their problem, and then you sell it. That's in Division 2. All right, so you have an idea, they come to your company, you sell them a service or product, and then in Division 3, the Treasury Division, they pay you. And that's where you maintain your money, pay your bills, and later on, you're going to have some assets, your buildings, your cars, and stuff. That's all maintained in Division 3. And Division 4 is where you actually deliver the product. So if you're a law firm, that's where you provide legal service. If you're a chiropractic office, that's where you provide chiropractic adjustments. If you're a mechanic, that's where you repair things. All right. If you're a doctor, teacher, whatever, that's where you do the actual service in Division 4. That's important because most people who have a passion about what they do say, I want to start a company. And let's just take a lawyer, for example. Guy loves law. He's passionate about the law. He watched To Kill a Mockingbird. He's watched Perry Mason. He just loves the law, and he's ready to go out there and fight for his client. That's great. And he can be great at that. The problem is that is just Division 4, being a great lawyer. So that's one of 7 divisions. So being a great lawyer has nothing to do with being a great business person. And that applies to any profession. If you're a great plumber, you can be the most knowledgeable, brilliant plumber that can solve any sort of irrigation issue. But if you don't know the other 6 divisions, you're probably going to fail. And that sucks because you don't deserve that, but it's just a lack of knowledge. It's not a lack of ability. It's not a lack of talent or whatever. You just don't quite have a full understanding of what a business is all has to be doing. All right, so we're up. Divisions, the first one, then 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in 4 right now. That's where you deliver the product. And 5, you correct any problems with the product. You also have training. So you're becoming a better lawyer or a better plumber or a better teacher or tutor, whatever you do. All right? That's 5. The last division is 6. And that is where you take this product that you've been working on and you tell the world how great you did. You go on social media and you say, hey, I'm Joe the plumber. This guy's sink had been leaking for a week and we fixed it. The family's happy and we helped him. And you put that all over social media. And then you get in the phone book. And then you get on, of course, you get your website and you may want to optimize that and get it going. And you may want to maybe buy some pay-per-clicks if you're there with the finances and all. But you want to tell the world how great your product is. And that is the flow of a particle through an organization, starting with the idea, through the company and the staff, then getting signed up, then paying the money, then getting the service, correcting anything with the service, telling people how great the product is. That is 7 divisions. Now, imagine a chart or an org board, as it's called, organizing board, with 7 divisions. That is how you organize your company for expansion. And that is the key. Any successful company will have those 7 divisions. It may not be organized exactly like that, but they are doing it. You can bet they're doing it. And I would imagine for the younger businesses, you're going to start in 4 because that's what you do. All right, that is the service. You're going to want to jump into 6, the dissemination and marketing, very fast. That's where you'll need to be active really soon. All right, and then you're going to have to jump into 2, which is the signing up, because you don't have the time to do the service, market it, and then sign up. So then you're going to hire. And what you're seeing is growth. And a lot of people fear that growth because you're going to be forced to grow and hire, or else you're going to stay small. If you try to jump around and do all this stuff, you'll stay small, no doubt. It's impossible to do it all. Every great organization started with an individual, but ended up as a very successful group, all right? It's going to be a group that takes you to that vision in your mind of what you want to see for your company. It's going to be a good group of people all dedicated to the mission, all right? But don't let yourself stop expanding, all right? You're going to have these little holes that have to be filled as you get out there. And you need to decide what you want to do. Perhaps you want to be the plumber and you want someone else to market. Or maybe you want a plumbing company and you want to be the marketer. And then you need to hire a plumber to do the actual service. You can jump around and fix this oil bore however you want to, but you just got to make sure that all these divisions are being run. In the beginning, it's a trick because there's only one of you. But then you're going to grow and you're going to trust yourself to hire that next person and to pay them a salary or work something out so that you can continue to expand. Because it's going to be scary at first, but you got to trust yourself. That's where people stay small, is that first level of expansion. Do they want to take that risk? They're so worried about paying rent. They're so worried about paying for their own salary. They can't even imagine paying for someone else's. But you got to push through that. That's a mental challenge that all of us are going to go through. You're going to go through it at every level of expansion. Unfortunately, it never gets easy. But push yourself through that. So remember these divisions, 7 divisions. Get them all set up and start going. Work hard. It's not going to be easy, but it will be fun, and you'll be glad you did it. So I hope this little bit of information gives you some inspiration, something you can use to help grow your company. If you have any questions about what I'm talking about, please be sure to post your questions, all right? And always like us and follow us, and we'll see you at the next episode of Hines on Air.
This was Hines on Air, recorded from the Hines Production Studio in the city of Atlanta, Georgia in the United States. Don't forget that you can follow us on YouTube to watch and listen to the podcast.